I realize it's a tough day in America today, with last night the shooting and killing of 5 police officers and the injury of 11 in the city of Dallas during a protest of the most recent killing of a black man by a police officer. We have a real problem in this country, but it's at the intersection of cultural clashes. And some of these cultural clashes are systemic rather than ethnic. I had an encounter with police in 2006, and I haven't told many people about it. I tried. After it happened, I sent a letter into the editor of local newspapers. I don't think it ever got published. But I was a psychology extern at a clinic in South Philadelphia known as Northwestern Human Services. It was in actually Sharon Hill, PA, which is just south of Philadelphia Airport, which is actually outside the city. The airport itself, I believe, is in Delaware County or really close to it, not Philadelphia County. But in any case, there I was, 33-ish, and I was driving to my this clinic, and I got off the exit ramp to Sharon Hill, which is the one right past the exit for Philadelphia Airport on 95 South, Interstate 95 South. And what happened was there were 2 motorcycle cops behind me, Philadelphia motorcycle cops. There was a stop sign at the end of this ramp. And it's normally my custom, and my wife and I have had lots of arguments about this, that you don't really have to come to a full and complete stop at a stop sign if you're turning right. You can kind of roll through it, slow down significantly, but, if there's nothing coming to your left, proceed. The problem is I've gotten tickets for doing exactly that in the past. And so while I'm inclined to do that, I'm definitely not going to do that when there's 2 motorcycle cops behind me. And that was the case in 2006. There was distance between me and these motorcycle cops. I don't think that they were right up on my tail, but I definitely saw them, and they were definitely close. And so instead of getting tickets like I've gotten in the past, I came to a full and complete stop at that stop sign, just like the law says I'm supposed to. A police officer, one of the bike cops, was infuriated, got off his motorcycle, came to my window, and yelled at me. He said, "Don't you know that's how people have accidents?" Now, I thought I was doing the right thing and was indignant, plus he was yelling at me for doing the right thing. And so I said, "Officer, I came to a full and complete stop at the stop sign, just like I'm supposed to do, a full and complete stop." He said, "What are you, a lawyer? Do you want to have a problem here?" He looked like he was about to pull me out of the car and arrest me, or worse. And I said, "I'm sorry, officer." I said, "No, I don't want a problem here. I just didn't want to get a ticket." He storms away from the car. Unbelievable. He goes over to his partner, getting back on his bike. "Do you believe the nerve of this asshole?" Now, if you've been following my blog, you know I have a very high opinion of police, but it took me almost 10 years to get it back. Black people in this country have a problem. There's lots of research showing that all kinds of people, not just law enforcement, have increased aggressive perceptions. In other words, they perceive aggression on black people more than they would a white person. And I was really excited to hear that there's going to be a new criminal justice program at John Jay College in New Jersey that's going to focus on disparities in the way that people of color are treated by police. But that said, I've experienced the problem myself, and I don't understand why we, the citizens, are expected to treat every cop like they could have PTSD. I had a journalism professor, an award-winning journalism professor, the late Robert Carlton Cole, who said that police just naturally assume that they are gods because they have the power of life and death in their sidearm. And when you hear about police violence, you don't hear about it in countries where the police aren't armed with lethal force. Maybe that's something that we should consider. Maybe it's time to disarm the police and only have them have lethal force when there's really a need for it, when a special team needs to be called in. Or maybe we have to have better psychological testing of police throughout their careers, not just once. Maybe there's a way to measure some sort of biometric like cortisol to see if this person should carry a sidearm or not. But it is a systemic and cultural problem that we have here that is causing this. And it certainly needs to change. What happened last night in Dallas is in no way justifiable. There's no reason to murder people doing their jobs. It's appalling and tragic. And frankly, I feel badly for the Black Lives Matter movement, because even if they were not in any way officially involved, they are going to be blamed for this. There's going to be less sympathy from liberals like me toward Black Lives Matter. And I think that's deadly for the movement. But we do have a systemic problem with police that Black Lives Matter is very, very, very right to address. And the problem is the us versus them mentality of the police versus the citizenry, and it has to stop. I'll do whatever I can as a psychologist to participate in panels or make suggestions, but I think we all have to do that as a nation. On this day of mourning for the 5 dead police officers and the others, a total of 11 who were killed or injured, I offer my prayer for peace. But along with that prayer, we have to make systemic change. This is Dr. Chipon. God bless.